For this class, I'm going to use a small white sheet, a black pen, a ruler, and brush pens. Let us start drawing the castle. For this, I'm going to use the ruler and the pen first. Firstly, I'm marking two distant points but not very much distant from each other on the sheet to draw the walls of the castle. Now, I'm drawing the walls of the castle using these 2 points and the ruler. Mind here that I'm making small walls as the sheet is small and we are making a small castle scenery on it. If you want to make big castle, then you can also make a big castle. That is totally up to you. Now, on one side, we'll try to join these 2 lines but with a dotted line, as you know that we have to make a castle design on the top. Now, to make the castle design on the top of this castle, I'm drawing these 3-line pattern between the 2 lines of the dotted line that we have made. You can notice the pattern here itself. Now, we are done with the castle design. We'll now make 2 towers on each side of this great wall. I'm drawing these towers really small because I have to make domes over it, the triangular domes, for which I'm making this circular line here. I complete the design after I make another tower on the other side. Now, here, after joining the 2 lines of the tower, I have made this small design extending the line that we have drawn earlier and then joining it. Now, I have marked a point here and here to make the triangular domes. I'm just marking it so that I can make the triangles at the same height. Joining this point to the towers to make it a triangular dome. Now, to make a bigger tower at the center of this castle, I'm again drawing the 2 lines. Now, make sure to make this a bigger one because you have to extend its height from the towers that we have already made on the 2 sides. That is why the height of this is made equal to the triangular dome so that we can make design over it and the length will automatically increase. Here, I have made this small double line over here. And now, I'll extend this by making 2 parallel lines like this and then we'll draw the castle design over here also. Here, I'm not using the ruler, but if you want, you can use a ruler for this. That's totally up to you. Now, we have to make 2 towers on the 2 sides. These 2 towers will be smaller than the 2 triangular domes so that these look lovely and make this castle look big. Now, here also I'm drawing the castle design on this tower. We have to make the same kind of a tower on the other side of the castle also. So, I'm making the same kind of tower, making same kind of castle design over it. Now, adding design to the dome. I'm simply making these lines to make it look more beautiful. Now, I'm making these small lines between those lines that we have made to make it look like small brick. Drawing the same kind of bricks on the other dome also. This looks really lovely and make this castle look realistic. Now, drawing a small window on this one tower and then drawing the window over the second tower. Mind that these 2 are of same design. Making a third window at the center of this tower, that is the biggest tower of this castle. So, the window is also a little designer kind of a window but is of circular shape only. Here, I'm drawing 2 lines like this, so this denotes that there are curtains on this window. Now, drawing windows on the side towers of this castle. These 2 are also of circular shape. Making a big circular shaped door at the center of this castle. To make it look cute, I'm drawing a small heart in the center and then doubling it so that we can color them and they will look really cute. Adding these lines on the door to make it look more realistic. This is the part of detailing and you can also draw any other design if you want. The designs are totally up to you and the modifications are always welcome. Now, on the top of these 2 triangular domes, I'm making 2 big flags. Now, to show the garden area and the land area, I'm making this circular design over here so that we can make some garden area and the path to walk on over this area. Now, for the path to walk or drive, I'm making these 2 lines. These 2 lines denote the particular area that is allotted for these works only. Now, for the side part, I'm making these trees. These want to be big trees around the castle to make it look more beautiful and to be covered with greenery. Here, I'm making a very basic shape for trees and shrubs, but if you want, you can make particular shapes of trees. Here, I'm making these small cloud type shape to denote the flowers over here. On the other side also, I'll draw the same green area that is full of green trees and red flowers. We'll color them later, but here I'm telling you that why I'm making these small cloud kind of a shape. So this is the denoting part for the flowers. You can make actual flowers that you want or any other illustrations that you want. The modifications are always welcome and you are welcome to modify the designs as well. You can make as many trees and as many flowers as you want around the castle. Now, on the 2 sides of the castle, we have made these 2 towers that we have to add detailings for. Now, in these, I have made these lines and then added this design to show that this is a brick kind of a structure. Now, drawing the same design on the other side of the castle, that is on the other tower that we have made. So now we are done with the drawing part with this. So now let's start with the coloring part of the castle. For this, I'm using these brush pens here. You can use watercolors or any other colors, maybe crayons or any other colors that you have. There is no restriction that you have to use these kind of colors only. So you can use any colors and then proceed with the coloring part. Firstly, here I'm using the blue color to color the sky. The part that we have left in the background is to be colored blue so that it represents the sky. I have placed these white sheet below my worksheet, the sheet on I'm working, so that my workplace don't get ruined by the colors that are going to the border of the sheet. So you can also place any rough sheet or newspaper to avoid stains on your work table. Now, while coloring in the background, that is while coloring the sky, you have to make sure that you don't mix the colors into the drawing. You have to make the boundaries first, you have to color the smaller portion first and then go to the larger and the broader areas. You can notice here that I'm also doing the same, marking small areas and then proceeding, because this is the greater area that we have to paint and we can't risk making the mistakes by adding this color into the smaller areas, because this color is not that light that we can cover up with any other color. So just be sure to be very careful while doing so, and you can do it very patiently. I've just fast forwarded the process in this video so that you don't get bored looking at this. So you can do it very calmly and patiently and take your time to do so. Now let's move further. After this coloring, we are going to use this yellow color and make these top of the domes. Here I'm using this yellow color. You can use any other color if you want. I'm also using this yellow color to highlight this area and the similar area on the triangular domes and also on the side towers of this castle. Now I'm using this dark pink color. If you want, you can use any lighter shade of pink color so that we can make some combination of that. But here I have this dark color, so I'm using this dark color and just highlighting around the lines that we have made in this design. I'm not completely filling any area with this because this is really very dark color. Doing the same design on this tower, and we'll repeat the same design on the other side, that is on the other triangular dome as well as on the side tower that we have made. After this, I'll use this light pink color. This is the lighter shade of pink that I have. I'm just filling the space that is left after doing with the dark pink color. Filling the color in the triangular dome, in the two side towers and the other triangular dome. If you have lighter shade, then you can use that for instead of the darkest shade that I have used. But here it's totally fine. If you have the same colors and you are doing the same design and the same colors, then it's totally fine. This will look really beautiful in the end. Now I'm using the dark pink color again and doing the outlinings of this tower that we have made at the center. Be very careful while doing so because this area is very small to fill with the dark color. I don't want to mix this color with the color of the sky or the yellow color that we have filled in the outline of this tower. So here I have just outlined and filled the complete of this upper side of the design of this castle. Here also in this tower I'm just outlining it and I'll fill the interior with the light pink color. Be very careful while doing so. Mixing the colors will not result into a good end result. You can notice here that I'm also doing it very carefully, and over here also where this is the castle design, here also I'm just rotating the sheet to fix it. Don't mix the colors. That is the first thing that we have to keep in mind. Now after this I'm going to do the same thing over this side on this smaller triangular dome tower so that this also matches the kind of a design that we are making in this complete castle. Now in this third tower also I'll do the same. See, if you want you can use any other color and pattern, but here I'm trying to make the complete castle in a big symmetry. That is why I'm using the same colors and the pattern. Now here I'm simply using this light pink color and filling the area between the boundaries that we have made using the dark pink color. So I have done this in the upper design, now in this tower, and then the second tower also that we have drawn, and then in the middle tower. So this is the design that we have made in this complete castle. Here also just be sure not to mix this color with the color of the window, but we have to still color it, but please don't add this color to the window. We'll add yellow, red, these bright colors to the window so that it denotes that the light is coming from inside of the castle. Now I'm again using this dark pink color to make the boundary around here, the castle design of this biggest part of the castle, so that we can add color to this part also. Here also I'm using this dark color to make the boundaries only. We'll fill the complete space with the same light pink color, not with this dark pink color. Now on the side towers also I'm completely filling the upper part because this is very small area and it is very much going to be difficult for everyone to fill two colors in this small space. That is why I'm using this single color and completely filling it with the same color. But if you have made a bigger castle and you have space there, you can continue with the same color theme. Here I'm using the light pink color to fill the rest of the space of this tower so that this looks very much symmetrical to the other design that we have made in this castle. Doing the same light pink color on the other side of this castle, that is the other tower that we have made over here. Now I'm filling this space, this middle space with the same light pink color, and you can notice here the difference in the color because this is what I'm doing. I'm just doubling everywhere. I'm just making two layers of it, not one layer. That is why this color seems to be a little different from what we have done in the other areas. Everywhere else where I have used this light pink color, I did just one coat, but here in this part, I'm doing a double coat of this. That is why this looks a little darker than everywhere else. Now I'm using this yellow color to color the windows. I'll color all the windows with this yellow color so that it looks very much bright. Here in the center window, I'm just doing the outline and the innermost part, which denotes light. Remember, I have said that the inner part that I have made design represents the curtains, so we don't have to color the curtains with the yellow color. Now I'm using this red color to fill the color in the flag. Just be careful that the color of the flag doesn't mix with the sky color so that it will look good if it doesn't mix up. Also, here that we have made design, here also I'm using this red color. You can also use green color to show that there are some plants over here, but I'm doing the red color. Also in the curtains, I'm doing the red color because I really like the curtains to be red. And the heart that we have drawn on this door, I'm also coloring that with the red color. I'm also doing this outlining part with the red color to make it look more beautiful. Here I'm using the light pink color to add the highlight to the heart that we have drawn. Now I'm using the yellow color to color the door of the castle, but make sure to be very careful here as yellow color shows a lot of black color in it because this is the pen that we have used for black outlining is not waterproof and the yellow color shows black color much more often. Now it's time to add greenery to the painting. We are just using this light green color to color into the bushes and the trees that we have made around the castle. So here I'm using the light green color. If you want, you can use a combination of light green color and the dark green color. Just keep in mind that I'm not making any shades over here, but if you want, you can do that. If you have drawn any other kind of a tree or plant or bushes, you can do the coloring accordingly. Just make sure not to mix this green color with the color of the flowers that we have to fill. I want to fill red color that I have already disclosed in the drawing part. I want to fill red color into the flowers, so I'll fill that in the end, not while filling these green. Now it's the time to color the flowers as I have already colored in the trees and the bushes. So I'm just using this red color to fill into the flowers. You can also add details or you can use multiple colors to fill into the flowers. That's totally up to you. I'm also outlining this part with the red color. You can use any other color if you want, but here I'm using this red color only. Now to add design at this area, the garden area in front of the castle, I'm making these kind of spikes using the dark green color. You can make any other design or you can write the name of the fairy or the princess that you want to award this castle to. So that is totally up to you. You can write names or you can make any symbol, but here I'm making these spikes just to show you with the dark green color. And the rest of the area I'll fill with light green color later. But firstly, here in the middle part, that is the path for walking and driving the cars and everything, I'm filling this area with the yellow color. Now the final part of this painting, I'm filling the rest of the area of the garden that we have left with the light green color. Here also if you want, you can add some flowers or some small designs or some rocks to add design to it or decoration to it. Any statue that you want to show here, you can draw that if you want. But here I'm just making the garden area, that is why I'm just adding this green shade. So now our drawing of the scenery of the castle is complete. We are done with the drawing part and the coloring part.